Too much information. Okay, we're live on YouTube as well. Okay, back to our 111 viewers. Sorry for that, my OBS completely crashed out there. I don't know what happened. Maybe, yeah. I promise you, for when we reach 50,000 Discord members, this boy will have a new PC. Alright, it's back. All good? Alrighty. So we were talking about the engine. Let's see if we have some more questions about this. Yeah, a lot of jokes about what happened there on the end of the stream. Thank you guys. Very funny to read. Too much engine dev talk. Saber, Tarnished Knight, we want more! Yeah, I don't think the chat is being very interesting in all of the things you have to say about the game itself. Is there maybe anything special that you would like to bring in some attention to, that you are especially proud of within Mar? Okay. Hang on. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Discord isn't sending the audio through. I'm sorry, I have to fix this. Discord. Okay, now it doesn't want to hook onto the audio from the Discord. Oh my god, what is this? So Bar is coming out, I am coming out, I have the audio Discord. It doesn't find my Discord anymore. What is up with OBS today? Yeah, let me maximize it, and then maybe it will realize we are actually sending something over. Test. Would you say something?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm saying something's happening.
Apologies everybody, and thank you for noticing that we cannot hear Tarnished. He is back here. My apologies for the technical issues.
Some would say that was a small blessing.
No, I wouldn't think so. Chat is really asking for more info on you, and I think they are really enjoying all of the technical details that you're spilling out, Emma. No worries at all.
No,
It's very surprising.
Well, to be fair, what probably a lot of people don't remember is that back when we started doing tournaments, I think from the second tournament till, I don't know, maybe the 10th one, I was actually involved in doing the tournament, actually hosting the tournaments, doing the streaming and all that. So I must say I ran into my fair share of problems with streaming on that, so I can certainly sympathise with the challenges. It's like you can't have a long running stream without something going wrong.
Yeah, indeed. Sometimes my PC isn't understanding what an integer is, apparently. That's quite a nice remark by Rainy. I guess the computer doesn't want you to tell us what an integer is. I guess my career as a programmer is ruined. Thank you for the follow-up, Asperman.
Yeah. Oh, so it cut off back then. Oh, blimey. Yeah. So, I'll just okay. I'll just to summarise what that question was about why 32,000 units, and it's computers, power of 2 stuff, and we try to limit the amount of data that we send over the network to keep network performance up and all that. Reduce the number of packets we send, and so. It's a convenient number for computers, so it's a convenient number for us because it's a nice round number, and it's just the biggest convenient number that we can fit for the data that we're sending across. So that's really what it is. But you as players probably won't be able to trigger 32,000 units. Even if you try, because a portion of that has to be assigned to the neutral faction, so what we call Gaia, and that will be all your penguins, your crabs, your seagulls, all those lovely little units that are walking around to add a bit more colour to the environment. So they're part of the neutral faction, and part of that space is reserved for them, as it should be, really.
I personally want to see hostile fauna on maps. It's entirely possible. We saw it built last year, the Shivas spawning on when you reclaim the rock.
Oh yeah.
Saber coming in with another question. What is the next step in the recall changes? Is there anything big coming up on the engine side, or?
Well, I don't. There's a number of smaller things that are coming through for the recall engine from a range of contributors. I think we've done a lot of the really big things that we wanted to get out of the way. The most recent big thing that we've done with the engine is we've brought in a new user interface library system, and the hope is that the game developers will be able to rework the user interface that you have with bar and really level it up to the next level with this with those changes that we've brought in. So I'll be looking forward to see what the game team do with elevating this user interface.
Okay. Alright.
So if you're looking for things like performance improvements, I think we got a lot of the big ticket performance improvements. It's now going to fall into one of 2 categories for us for the most part. It's either going to be sort of smaller performance gains where we notice something's like, oh, actually that could be made a little bit better, and a small 1% improvement here, 2% improvement there, and then the other category is it would give a big benefit, but we're talking about massive amount of work, like a contributor would have to dedicate like years of their free time to make it happen. Sort of level of changes, which we're not gonna I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but I think there'll be other things like removing bugs, maybe small feature improvements, added, and that as needed by the game. So we're mostly driven by the needs of the games, because without the games, what's the point in the engine? So 0K bar, they feed into where we're going, as do the smaller projects, total atomic power, and metal factions, and so on and so forth.
All right. So, and also, I think I know the answer to this question. It's been asked in chat, when Steam release? I think your answer would be then when it's ready. We are developing the game that we love, and we are taking our time. But still, Like in general, would you think like it's a year away, 5 years away, 10 years away? Do you have any indication on maybe somewhere in that
So,
neighborhood?
so I guess this is, yeah, it's right. It's like the strict answer is it'll be ready when it's ready. But I think we can look at what are the key things that we need in place for a Steam release. So there are two types of Steam release really that we're thinking about here. There's one that's the early access release, so that's getting initially into Steam, and then there's like what you would call the release 1.0 full release. So 1.0, I don't even want to think about that at this moment in time. But the Steam early access release, there's some big ticket items that we would like to see come in that will be necessary. One of which is a new lobby system. So we have a new lobby in the works. That's been in the works for a few years now. Not necessarily ready yet for showtime, so we'll need that. We've got some very clever people working on the network protocol at the moment. So if people remember back to when Winter StarCraft was streaming bar for the first time and brought upon us the some people dubbed as the Winter Apocalypse, where so many people were trying to get into bar that no one could get into bar, and the games were the lobby was crashing out, and a lot of good work's being done to increase the capacity. But there's only so far we can take the capacity with some of the technology that we're using in the network stack. So new stuff is being done for that. So before we go to Steam, we expect a big bump of users, so we kind of want that new network infrastructure in place and ready to receive what we would hope will be a significant increase in player count. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to see a single player campaign. That's a big thing. A single player campaign to come in, better way of onboarding and giving people a way to play, because we know that in RTS games, as much as we love these multiplayer games, as those people come on in skirmishes, it's all absolutely fantastic, amazing games to be had. The vast majority of people who play RTS games in general, they're not saying specifically bar, but in general, are single player experiences. And they can enjoy that with bar. You know, we've got scenarios, we've got scavengers, we've got raptors, we've got AI skirmishes that you can play with the AI and that. So we've got plenty of things from Zuba. What they always want is a campaign, and we feel that would be necessary for, well, certainly as my understanding at this point in time. Always, everything I say here is subject to change. And because though we want a single player campaign, and there's a lot of building a lot of momentum, enthusiasm to really get that going. There's a lot of challenges related to get that going. It's a lot of work, so we're hoping we can get that underway. But I won't lie, that will take a long time to develop. It's not something that I don't think I would be able to produce an acceptable campaign within a year. So it's going to. I think it's likely to be multi-year endeavor, unless of course we get hoarded by hundreds of volunteers that are all like, let's do the campaign, let's make this happen, and somehow they work together really well, and they get all the testing and the ideas, and the get all the collaboration going, and maybe prove me wrong and knock it out in no time at all. In 6 months it'll be the campaign will be ready. But no, I think that if people are looking for a Steam early access release, I think we are looking in terms of at least a few years out, but going beyond that, we really can't say. I'm sure we had talks 2-3 years ago where we said, oh, we'll expect it to come out in 2-3 years time, and here I am saying 2 or 3 years time. So I don't think I'm necessarily a good indicator of when exactly we'll get into a early access release.
All right, thank you. Saber also has a good question. Is there an engine bottleneck for network performance, the ping numbers, that isn't server distance related? Could it be improved down to 50 or 100 milliseconds?
Right, okay. I see where this question's come from. So in the player bar on the right, you'll see that there's these, I think these numbers are the FPU, frames per second count, FPS count. But next to it, there's this little arrow pointing up, and you've got green arrow for it's good, amber for not quite so good, and red, oh dear, this person's machine's struggling. And if you hover over the arrow, it gives you, it should, I think, give you the delay, what we call the command delay. The command delay is actually quite a number of different technical things interacting with each other. And one of those factors potentially is ping, as has been mentioned there. And if you've got a really good ping, that number will obviously be a bit lower. 133 milliseconds is about where you'd expect it to be. And then if you've got somewhere halfway around the world, then that command rate might go up to something like 300, 400 milliseconds, for example. They're just more hypothetical numbers. So, but it's not just network issues there that is mostly driven by network issues, I suppose. Let's be fair. Network is inherently unstable. Your packets will come through at very varying times. They may even get routed through different parts of the internet, even though they're going to the same destination. So even though you might have, one packet might reach the server in 10 milliseconds, another one might take 100 milliseconds to get to the server. It's just the way the internet is. So there's a certain amount of delay that we have to account for just to try and keep the experience smooth when the game's running at full speed. But what that command delay is that's coming up is that the server is scheduling simulation frames, and they're all numbered. So frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, and so on and so forth. And it opens up, frame collects the commands that people are sending to it, and it say, right, I'm scheduling you into this open frame, and then it will say, right, everyone, frame 24, ready to go, here you go. Now when the frames come through onto the client, we don't necessarily process them immediately, because again, there could be delays that come in, and this is just the technical aspect of how computers have to work, and
that's in any game.
Clock, your clock might look like it's in sync with someone else's clock, but the clocks are actually technically out of sync by some measure. Your hardware clock is ticking at a slightly different rate. You wake up at slightly different times. Operating systems interfere at different times. So to keep things smooth, the client makes sure that it's got at least a little bit of work to do once it finishes the current frame. So it never wants to be in a situation where we've got a frame, we've done it, right, what's next? There isn't any frames left to process, and your game will visibly stutter badly.
Good.
Because what happens is the rendering system will guess what's happening, and then the sim tick comes in. It will then process it and then find out its guess was completely wrong, and you'll see units teleport on the screen back to where they should be. And you don't want that. You want to avoid that. So what we do is we try to make sure we've got like a frame or two to be able to do once we've done the current frame. So there's a slight delay in there, just to make sure that the game actually runs smoothly, because no one wants to play a stuttery mess. Well, some people might. I probably shouldn't be implying people's personal preferences, but generally, in my experience, people prefer games if they run smoothly and look good, rather than it's everything teleporting everywhere and it's like you feel like everything's juttering around. So the command delay there is essentially the server's record of the last frame your client reported to the server that it's done, and the current frame that the server is preparing for. So there's always going to be a gap. The server's always going to be a minimum of one frame ahead of everyone, because it hasn't given that frame to everyone. If you see what I mean, there's always going to be that delay. So even though the command delay might not look brilliant, it's not actually it's bad or anything like that. If you take StarCraft 2 as an example, when you issue a command in StarCraft 2, the system, because it's a using peer-to-peer network and determinism, and that it has to have a force delay to account for fluctuations in network performance, machine performance, and that. So you'll find that if it was reporting a command delay, that it would be somewhere like 100 milliseconds, for example. But the game feels incredibly snappy. So where we are at the moment is close to, you know, we wouldn't necessarily be able to improve the numbers beyond the 133 that we get without some serious side effects kicking in.
Okay. Very interesting. It's really really well explained as well, Tarnished. Yeah. You're rocking it.
Unfortunately, it's one of these topics that I could talk for hours on end. Now, if it's getting too much, and people want other things, I'm perfectly fine to leave you to it.
If there's more questions, people, just ask them. Go right ahead. I've also seen Saber. Excuse me. I've seen Damgam and Ruetan in chat. If you guys also would like to join the stream and answer a few questions, you're more than welcome.
Yes, please, because I'm going to have to go in a bit.
Don't leave me alone.
So me too. I'm just chilling here. I'm just watching the show.
Oh no, they already started the next game.
That's right. You can spend the next cast catching up to that one as well.
Oh.
I'm still with you as well.
Thank you. Great.
Okay, so before I leave you all to the next exciting match, is there any like last questions or anything you want to, or the audience want to ask?
Saber coming in with any performance increases? I don't think so, right?
VPN. Well, with VPN, if a VPN improves your performance, it's because you've got a fast connection to your VPN provider that's got a fast connection to the server. So that going through the other route ends up being a longer route. I have heard of VPNs in games in general potentially being able to improve performance, but you know, specifically, it's beyond the general case. There's nothing specific about VPN improving performance beyond what would be applicable to any game in general, really.
Okay. Unquell coming in with chilling in chat for receiving the divine hardware wisdom from Tarnished. And Limorpheus also asking a very interesting question. What did you have for breakfast today, Tarnished?
What? Very, very unusual, actually. My partner made some milk pudding, and she ended up making quite a lot of it. She was following instructions, and
Nice.
she then told me that, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to eat most of it because she doesn't tend to eat that much dairy products. So it's like, okay, I guess I'll be eating a lot of that for breakfast then. So very unusually, I'm eating some milk pudding.
I had honey toast for breakfast yesterday morning. It is now like almost 1 a.m. in the morning.
Ooh.
So it's a new day for me.
Okay. Well, I had a sandwich with some ham and some cheese that you heard me making a bit earlier on stream. Because yeah, I started streaming at 9. I woke up at 8:30, and I jumped right into the stream to be able to entertain everybody. Well, entertain in a 5 FPS gaming. Again, apologies for that, and I would like to point out for the 10th time, this is not bar related or server related. This is because of my old PC that you are seeing this. You can notice that in gaming, or the spectators having a lot more FPS just because they have a better machine and are more capable of running all of these simulations as these beautiful explosions at the same time.
I will be sharing in the bar Discord some of the screenshots I took of that last match. Took some beautiful isometric shots of the
Cool.
environment.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think we have to. Someone's going to have fun doing a recap for for this event. It's like, nice little article with all the lovely explosions.
How big are the demos for these matches?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a big upload from YouTube, from Twitch to YouTube. I think this VOD will be a few, close to 100 gigabytes, I think. So yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting way. I have to also paste all of those little pieces together, I think, because we passed out a little bit on the streams a few times. So not we passed out, but the stream died a few times. So a little bit of editing to go, but soon we will have a lot of content on the YouTube channel. By the way, the BPL finals is still ongoing. It is ready to go live, but yeah, we are doing this event first, so I want to give all the attention to this one. So the VOD from the 40k event will probably be up before the BPL finals. What specs are my PC? I have. Let me open my configuration screen. System. So I have an Intel Core i7 8700 CPU at 3.2 gigahertz. I have 48 gigabytes of memory, and my video card is a 2080. So yeah, how do you? Is there a command like how old is my PC or something that you could check?
It's a case of
This
just
info,
putting
I think.
put a search into Google and it'll.
I think I know. I should know this because, well, it's kind of my job to know this.
I was surprised you won't be able to rattle off your system specs off the top of your head. Got yourself a caster? Oh. No.
It's on Windows 10. It's an Acer Predator P05610. Well, I can just Google the thing and see when it was released.
Sounds like 2018.
Is that a laptop?
No, no, it's a disk. It's a disk
Okay.
PC.
Just double checking.
The Predator Orion 500 P05610 gaming desktop computer. This is the one. It's still being sold. Okay. That's surprising. You can still buy my PC from 7 years ago.
But not as it's not being exactly advertised, is it?
I'm not sure
You
why
can
you
buy
would.
it.
They're just selling the reserve.
Yeah. So it's not a laptop, so it's not the 2008 version. But I think, well, if I'm correctly, I bought it just before the pandemic happened. So yeah, 7 years ago.
Yeah, like I said, probably like 2018, because I bought in 2019 my i7 9th generation, but now got the 12th one, because the 9 one just burned.
Okay. The voice you are hearing, ladies and gentlemen, is that of Wilco Bike, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah,
All right.
kind of. Yeah.
He's one of the contributors into Beyond All Reason. Could you explain maybe a little bit what your contributions were, maybe?
Mainly, I'm working on the mission API for the campaign development, and then later the changes of our old scenarios. So basically, once we will finish the mission API, we'll pretty much purge all the old scenarios and replace them with the new one.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, well, working on this, it's taking some time. We started the mission API work around end of 2022. So yeah, then there was some decisions and some work to be done, and planning architecture and everything. Actually, we started some coding around mid 2023, with some pauses in between. And then we slightly decided to go for the object-oriented Lua, but because it was quite difficult to keep the maintaining of the code, we decided to go back to our previous path without the object-oriented. And basically, I'm the only one working actively on it with the help of Watch the Fort, who's doing, the main thing like a project manager, let's say, who's looking after code, and so everything should look as it should. But to be honest, there was no other contributors who was looking at the mission API. It was like unwanted child for the bar. So basically, everyone was doing all their parts, but no one really wanted to stick for longer on mission API. And currently, we just clearing, let's say, a code from the leftovers of the object-oriented Lua and preparing it for some other contributors that recently decided that they want to join. And they will be coding, I believe, some point. Well, I was saying that we'll be coding triggers and actions this week, but because of the event and everything, I'm thinking more realistically, around next week we'll start coding the triggers and actions. So that's when the code will be clean and ready for adding new stuff, because basically there is a bunch of actions and triggers, loads to be coded, because we want to make the mission API user-friendly. So the mission authors that will be working on creating a campaign missions and later on new scenarios doesn't necessarily will need to know anything about the coding and Lua code and so on. We'll just be briefly filling all the data into the tables, and it will work. So that's why it's important that it's coded properly. What else I can tell? Well, basically, there are some blockers that we've got from engine, but it's not the blockers that basically no one want to do it, but basically everyone is busy with stuff on engine, and we know this, that you have to wait until something will be done. But in the meantime, we've got loads of other triggers and actions to be implemented, so there is no rush with anything. Like Tarnished said, the Steam release won't happen soon because unless, like he said, we will get massive contributions and people just will say, "Oh, let's do this in 6 months' time," which I would be really happy and at the same time surprised, but we shall see. But like I said, yeah, we should begin coding proper triggers and actions at some point next week. Currently, it's in kind of testing way that you can actually test the basic stuff. So that mission API, you can get to kind of testing state. There is loads of work still to be done. It's not just action triggers. We need to do the start script. So there is still loads of work to be done, to be honest. I don't want to...
But I was always wondering, are you guys also a programmer in your professional life?
Yes and no. To be honest, done 2 degrees in programming. One in my current living place, so I'm in UK, and one from where I'm originating. So because I'm from Poland, but I've been living in UK for like 20 years. My God, yeah, so roughly. So I wasn't doing that for many years and for many reasons. About the time when I joined the bar, I decided to go back to programming stuff and refreshed everything. A lot's changed since like when I was doing uni. So since like 2010, lots of things has changed. So I wasn't doing that until recently, let's say, programming a living from this. So it was quite difficult to go back to that. Besides, without kind of experience, it was hard to get anything or anyone to be looking at you as a possible employee or contractor or whatever. And besides, I'm kind of old guy in the bar project because I'm closer to 50 than anyone else. I think there are 2 or 3 people around my age.
Okay, I know how you feel on that one. Maybe Tarnished, could you maybe shed some light? Do you, or are you also in your profession?
I'm not going to divulge my age, but but I have been programming professionally for nearly 25 years.
Okay.
That's mostly around C++ and type stuff, so the engine's been a good fit for me.
Yeah. Would you say that's the general trend in all of the core Bark team people?
No, not necessarily.
No?
Actually,
Okay.
I think. But I think you'd have to interview them individually to get their stories. But the impression I got was there was a fair few of them that didn't actually they didn't professionally program. It was more of a hobby for them. In some ways, it's a nice way to keep it.
Yeah, indeed, and quite impressive that even if you are not in a professional manner programming, that you are able of contributing to this game. Because I'm a programmer. Well, I had a objective-oriented degree like 20 years ago, but I just somehow I programmed for a year, and then I just naturally went into more of an infrastructure role for some reason. But I do some small little programming from time to time. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine getting too deep into this bar development. It would be way over my head. So yeah, it's quite impressive with what you guys are performing. And actually, I do want to thank everybody in here once more for developing this game, because I'm having so much fun with it. It's been incredible. So yeah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all your efforts, man, because this is amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to dash now, but I'll say thank you, everyone. Their contributions as well to it, and for our lovely casters who have been working around the clock and the team behind them and all that working around the clock for this, and to all the players, because the game's really it's for the players, you guys really, and to see so many people playing and enjoying the game is absolutely wonderful to see. So I hope that Bar will continue well into the future, continue to go from strength to strength, eventually get that early access release, and everyone continues to play and enjoy it and making it the best RTS that we possibly can. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for joining, Tarnish, and thank you for your excellent explanations.
It's my pleasure. Anytime. Cheers.
We have Seth D. Jemre also joining. Would you also care to answer a few questions, maybe? The Secretary of
Sure, I'd love to. It depends on my microphone quality. Is it sufficient?
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna turn you down just a tiny little smidge, but
All right.
So, yep, that should be better. Could you maybe enlighten us on your position within the bar team?
Well, on the Discord, you'll see that I have a secretary title right next to my name. So, when it comes to like dealing with suggestions and getting the feedback to the appropriate places, I try my best to be the middleman, the monkey that runs that stuff around. In addition to that, I basically am a rogue agent that works on whatever almost abandoned mechanics don't seem to be working very well, and implementing some of the game design team's desired features. I am the unfortunate soul responsible for taking away your precious high/low trajectory button and replacing it with something more automated, for which, to those that are upset, I am sorry. We've got an open referendum for, petitioning for that to be reverted, maybe, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm a fan
Anyway,
of it, in honesty. I like it. It requires less macro of me, and I think a unit should decide on itself how to hit the other unit. I shouldn't be a part of that, so I'm on your team, huh?
An allied commander has died.
I like it, but I like making everybody happy, which is probably why it's a good thing I'm not in charge of anything.
Well, the secretary is kind of in charge of keeping track of all the changes and stuff like that, so you do hold quite an important position, right?
That's important enough, I guess. In addition to that, you might notice that it's very difficult and nigh impossible to launch units into orbit. That's because I reworked Impulse such that it now has an upper limit. Maybe would have been a good idea to have it to begin with, but you don't know you need it until you need it, right? So now you can't launch stuff into orbit, and that means that we can enable T2 stuff to be able to impulse T1 stuff without having to worry about them jumping over moats and stuff. Very good times. Shield rework is a thing, and I was, with the help of Watch the Board, I made that stuff, and we'll see how the players in general receive that. It needs a balancing patch yet, but I got started about a year and 2 months ago by being an ideas guy brave enough to go, hey, unbalanced commanders, abandoned feature? I think not. It just so happened to be simple enough to where I could get started. And it's been a slippery slope into development ever since.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Saber, this is Set D Gamray. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly. Thank you, Ruetan, for explaining that.
It was because Gamer was taken, so I had to switch the R&D around like 10 years ago. No, 15 years ago now. My God, I've been a gamer for a while.
Ripty coming in with, damn, you set all of my unit cannons.
Fight me, Ripsy. I ain't scared.
Saber going, sorry for all the bug reports set.
It's okay. He's doing God's work. I still have to filter through the... Yeah, that's the other thing I do sometimes whenever I have time on the toilet. I filter through the GitHub repo and tag stuff appropriately so the right nerds can look at it. Good times, good times.
All right.
Doing the Lord's work.
What about the button for trajectory that's auto high low, with auto being the default? Best of both worlds. Personnel with that suggestion?
Oh my God, that was. If you're asking about how it was developed, it was. Let's call it a war with the code.
Okay.
But if you're asking about the design principles behind it, I sit on the game design team committee, so I do have some insights to share in that regard.
Okay.
Which do you prefer?
Chat, which would you prefer? We have well, my preferences is maybe not that important. If you guys want to make the choice, please. Let's see if they answer. Not that one. Alright, I'm gonna go then with the first options, please.
Okay, the development war story then.
Yes, definitely.
So the first attempt, the way that this all began was on Discord about, I want to say October of last year. in October of last year, there was a thread that was created that said something about making auto trajectory a thing, and back then it was called automated high-low, whatever. Anyway, so
Was
somebody
also,
made the
was
mistake.
also involved
Go
with
ahead,
smart
go ahead.
weapons too. With whole hounds, smart weapons.
Oh, are you asking if it can work for those, or if that was
I'm wondering
part
if
of that
it's related
discussion?
to that. It's a
Uh,
discussion. Yeah.
No, different decision. A quick
Okay.
aside about the Hounds is that, in general, VAR wants to be a macro-style game, not a micro-style game, which means eliminating the need for fiddly buttons to switch between different modes or to activate certain attacks unless it's absolutely integral to the design of the unit. For example, you probably do want to manually click the launch nuke button rather than have that automated. Anyway, so things like the Hound is kind of on the chopping block because it has this extra button where all other units that are in its role don't. So that's what prompted that discussion. And perhaps what you remember is that I can't remember exactly how it went down, but maybe somebody made an offhanded mention that auto trajectory also fills that same button slot. Or I mean, high trajectory, low trajectory fills that slot. Is that what you meant, Tharzi?
Pretty much.
So it might have originated there. It's been a while. I can't quite remember. But somebody ultimately dared me, or said, I think it was Hornet actually, said, it's so complicated, it can't be done. You'll never get it calibrated right. And I said, I bet you I can. So first attempt, he was right. I tried to do it all in the animation script, but then I'm fighting with the UI. The UI says that manual commands are issued in only the synced Lua environment and the unsynced Lua environment. So I had to somehow tie that in. So that meant creating, let's call it like an entry point for the Lua code to inject itself into the COB script, the animation script for the units. It tells them how to turn the turrets, how to move around and stuff. So I had to create an entry point, and then my logic never seemed to work correctly. There was this really nasty glitch where, and if you see this anymore, please, for the love of God, let me know, where it'll switch intermittently between high trajectory, then low trajectory, then high trajectory, then low trajectory. And what's happening there is that the aim point, the point from which it checks its trajectories, is checked from the tip of the barrel, which is all fine and dandy as long as you're using one weapon. But if you're using two weapons with two different trajectories, which is technically what's going on here, then when it raises to high trajectory, suddenly it thinks it can shoot in low trajectory. So it switches back to low trajectory. And when it's in low trajectory, it can't shoot. So then it's got to switch back to high trajectory. Back and forth it goes. I had to throw all that out. To smooth it all out, attempt number 3. Several months and God knows how many hours of iterations later, I found the magic sauce. I borrowed a chapter out of MMO design wherein you get aggro from the boss, right? But in this case, aggro is a positive or negative number that biases the trajectory to choose the higher or the lower. And this allowed me a great deal of flexibility because I could just increase the bias in one direction versus the other, or make it so that the switching happened at specific thresholds. And upon initial release, it wasn't very good. I got a whole lot of hate mail about it. But every little snippet of hate mail that you fine people out there gave me allowed me to improve on those weights and those thresholds just a little bit more. And eventually, it became what it is now. And I hope it's good enough for the likes of VAR. And thank you guys for putting up with it.
Well, I kind of like the change. It's also a little bit of cheesy, right? You can put a gauntlet on high trajectory and just have it start at something that it kind of shouldn't. I'm kind of hoping that the low high trajectory, for example, would also be implemented on Sheldons. Are there any plans to, like, for example, make those guys shoot upwards and reach the top of a mountain? Because in some maps, I'm getting really frustrated that there's like a little hill where the unit's on top of it, and they will not target it.
This is intended to be a special feature only for, if you look in the description of these artillery units, they are called area control artillery units, right? So what this means for their role is that they've got to control that area, which means shooting over terrain. They did a terrible job before because they couldn't shoot over stuff unless you manually selected such. And if you had them in high trajectory mode, then as soon as something rounded the corner and it could shoot it, it would never hit it because it took too long for the bullet to get there. Very sad times. There are no plans at this time to add auto trajectory to any other units. Another thing that might seem like an oversight, but is an intentional omission, is the Cerberus, which is the the geothermal.
Geo.
Yeah, the geothermal artillery emplacement for Cortex. That is an intentional exclusion because the logic goes, it is far oppressive enough just as it is.
Yeah, indeed.
And I was like, all right.
I will also note the Lobber also has this smart switching as well. So
It does?
because yeah, the Lobber. It's because it's the only tier 1 unit in Legion that can shoot upwards, I think, by default.
Oh, I didn't actually add it. Are you talking about it being
Yeah, I
high
added it.
trajectory all the time?
It's
No.
on high trajectory or low. It's got the smart switching you gave me.
Okay, we'll just keep that as our little secret.
No, it's fine.
So, one other thing I was wondering about the high and low trajectory. Gauntlet versus gauntlet. One gauntlet has a few walls in front of it. Why does it start it differently between the gauntlets? Because that's really... I think Saber was, for example, saying that in chat, that if you build a few walls in front of your gauntlet, the other gauntlet will not be able to hit you with a high trajectory. How does that kind of work?
As of how many days ago? I thought I fixed that pesky bug.
Ah, okay, it's out of here already. Alright, Saber, you can be happy. There's no more unfair advantages for walls in front of gauntlets.
I think that Saber knows who I am, so if you still see that bug, let me know, and I'll squash it even further. But what's happening there is that the unit, the weapon depth, which is a table of a bunch of nerd language that tells the units how to act. It did not have, I believe, a void neutral, and when a Dragon's Teeth is built, even though it doesn't belong to neutral, it is still to the enemy anyways, on the neutral team, which meant that it wouldn't see it as a valid obstruction for the trajectory checks. And so it would just happily blast into it, and there was nothing you could do to override that behavior. So with a quick addition, that should no longer happen. And if it does, I will be very sad.
Okay, nice. Nice. Good day, gamers. Hello, Bas H. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Kidenas, Game Freak, K1, On Ball, 1, Onqualo. You took so long to follow this channel. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in that one. Saber saying gauntlets were shooting walls a few days ago, but I think what you're saying is that a few days ago you mitigated that bug, right? You released a patch.
It was
for
somewhere
it?
between a few days and a week ago. I'll give it
days.
another look, just for you, buddy.
What is the computational complexity of his algorithm? Okay, can you tell us a little bit about the algorithm that you had to create for that high-low trajectory? Was it very difficult to implement?
It's a Boolean.
It is, in fact, not a Boolean. It's a weighted value with thresholds with a bunch of magical wizardry. The most tricky and dense part of the script is related to catching it when it's screwing up, because sometimes, not always, but rarely, and sometimes it'll think it can shoot in low trajectory when in fact it cannot. Or it thinks it could mostly shoot in low trajectory when in fact it cannot. And so what it will do is it'll really try hard to shoot in low trajectory and fail constantly, looking like it's stuck, looking completely dumb. So what I have to do is detect if it first is the first target is aimed at, two, or second, that it's waited a sufficient amount of time to allow for its often very slow turn rate to have had a chance to turn it towards the target, and three, that it hasn't fired, and a few other conditions in order to trigger an error state that overrides to high trajectory. And then that required some special treatment of the way that the weighted value decays, such that it goes back to low trajectory after a set interval of time, rather than have the same rate as every other condition. It's spaghetti. It became more spaghetti, but I tried my best to make it legible for the great watch report.
So on the shields, the Starlight here in the Legion, I know that the Legion faction still needs a bit of work, but to me it looks like the Starlight is way better at getting down shields compared to a Ragnarok. I think you need about 6 or 7 shields at least to hold up a Ragnarok. But doesn't it look? It looks like to me you need a lot of more shields to keep a Starlight off your main base. Is that?
Yeah, it depends on what they're talking about. Are they talking about the T3 shields, which were added recently? Thank you very much to Protar for the models. Or are they talking about some kind of override? And if they have the override, is that with the normal shields or the shields rework? Because those are very different beasts.
Yeah, in this lobby, the shield rework V2.0 is on. It's on 1.
Block everything?
Black everything? Sorry?
Is it block everything enabled?
No. It's not block anything enabled. It is. It's just shield rework 2.0, and it's still getting down shields. But well, in comparison, I do believe that the Ragnarok at the moment is easier to block with shields, or to not have your entire base being blown up by.
It's probably best for me to answer both questions. I'm probably one of the few people that know this off the top of my head.
Right, go right ahead.
Anyway, so deflection style shields. Lasers are super effective at taking them down quickly because there's not really a way for them to fudge out of the damage being dealt to them, because the deflection angle matters for the cost it takes to deflect the projectile. So for lasers, it's always full damage the entire way, because there's not like a smaller amount of interaction to be had from different angles of laser fire. There was a couple other ones that were interesting. Flame projectiles by default don't actually get handled by the shields at all, if I remember right. Lightning is treated just like lasers. I can't remember exactly what happened with rockets. It's been a long time since I messed around with that stuff. But I know that with cannon projectiles, the way that stuff works is that the longer that the more direct that the attack is on the shields, the more effort it has to expend in order to deflect the projectile. Which means that if you hit one on the very edge, the corner of the shield, then it doesn't have to deflect it all that much to get it away, which means it takes less energy. So if you look at the actual energy cost of what a deflection is, it's almost never the full damage of the projectile outside of the rework. The rework is a completely different beast. The way that thing works is that I actually make all the damage of all the things against the against the shields 0. And I virtualize their original damage that they would have dealt to the shield. And then for projectiles that deal their damage all at once, like cannons, missiles, etc., for each strike on the shield, I just negate the damage. For things like lasers, the way those actually work is based on, what was it called? I think it was beam time or something. Anyway, you take the full damage of the projectile, and over the course of the duration per frame that laser is firing and hitting the shield, it's spread out evenly across all the frames. So that means that the damage is dealt appropriately. The full damage is dealt appropriately over the lifetime of the laser beam. And lightning follows suit with that. Flames are actually a bunch of tiny little projectiles that deal a fraction of the full damage. There's just a lot of them that make the flame special effects.
Okay.
Yep. That petered off there. I think I run out of things to say about shields. It's just a dense subject.
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying, but if you would compare a Starlight firing at 7 shields and a Ragnarok firing at 7 shields, which one would break through first?
Shoot, I'd have to have the damage numbers in front of me. I am sorry, I don't have one. If it was in the base game with over... Come again?
It would have to be the Ragnarok because it's constant damage.
Okay, okay.
That doesn't actually make a difference because
Okay.
the recharge rate is constant, except for in the rework, because once it hits downtime, then it would stay down. No, actually, that's technically constant too because of how that works.
I think I wanna run a test on that one. I think I'm gonna later today get a lobby up and well, enable God mode and build some Starlights and some Ragnaroks and compare how much faster one or the other is going through the shields. Is there a difference between the Cortex shield and the Armada shield?
I think they have the exact same capacity, but slightly different health and metal costs and stuff.
Okay, alright.
I think.
They're a mirror match, except the keyboard is cheaper metal-wise.
So Seth,
I believe it.
I asked this question to all of the guys in here as well. What is your most proudest achievement within Bar? What are you yourself the most proud on that you contributed to Bar?
Kickstarter.
I did? Oh no, you did.
I
I don't remember doing that. Cool. No, that's a tough one.
That's what I'm here for. I ask
This
the
is
tough
gonna sound
questions.
I've got a real answer, but a more accurate answer as well. So I'll give you the real answer followed by the accurate answer. Real answer is that I'm just happy to be here at all. Game development has been a lifetime childhood dream ever since I was 5, and I never knew how I was going to get into this mess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So coming into it with absolutely no coding experience and just asking lots and lots of annoying questions until I knew enough to, let ChatGPT teach me the rest of the way. And now I don't even need the training wheels, hot dog. But being on that journey, being here developing the game has been a dream come true. And that's my happiest achievement, is to be living the dream, so to speak. But a more real answer is, I think that although nobody really will see much of a difference, I am most proud of having reworked impulse and collision damage, and now we have proper falling damage. All of that, I think that people sleep on it because it's not the most visual thing, but the implications of what it enables is pretty profound. You can now have explosions that knock things around and bully tiny units, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Henceforth, I'm going to be retiring from... Well, thank you.
Yeah, I guess
I'm going to be retiring from gameplay stuff. I'm going to be retiring from gameplay development for a little bit and focusing strictly on the casual and PvE experience. I'm not exactly sure what I've got planned for that yet, but the future's bright. I think that immediately, though, I'm going to be doing some cheaty stuff for AIs because our bar players are far too talented for them.
So, continuing the tough questions. In general, you can see that a lot of code now is being developed by AI itself. Are you afraid? Well, if you are a professional programmer, should you be afraid of the developments in AI on that matter?
So, as a non-professional, I'm actually an electrician. I'm on my way to work right now, actually. I don't have skin in the game, so that would explain my lack of fear. But in addition to my lack of fear of being a hobbyist, shall we say, I wouldn't even be here if I wasn't able to ask AI model, the training models, questions about how to code this random thing or that random thing. And conveniently, I've also learned another reason why there's not much to fear quite yet, but there might be in the near future. They hallucinate. They will give. I have some integration of AI something that I use to autocomplete some stuff, and sometimes it autocompletes necessary lines of code right out of whatever I'm working on. So I think we're safe for a while, boys. until the code stops, until the AI stops hallucinating, we'll be all right. It's a very, very good tool, and I see it as nothing more.
All right, you see it as a tool and not as something that would take over.
Oh, it might, but we still have to tell what to do. Robots don't have fun.
Yeah, they will definitely not be able to program this game, I think. I mean, this game is just, well, it just oozes a love for RTS, I think. And yeah, to get that feeling into a game that you guys are doing so successfully, I don't know if a machine can do that. Whilst we have been talking, it looks like this game is looking at the, well, it's running at the final few things that are happening. Yellow team is way ahead, and I do think they're gonna finish it up pretty soon. Maybe Master Bell here in the bottom can prove a little bit of a difference, but he's getting EMP'd now. His shields are coming back online slowly, but will it be in time to hold up that starlight? Ooh, one more shot.
EMPs right on the edge of really, really dirty. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the shields are back up. Just in time. Actually, yeah, oof, pretty close though.
What I would personally be doing is spraying out all those EMPs because it doesn't affect anything. They don't stack.
That's weird. The shield is EMP'd, but it's still up.
It doesn't I don't believe it recharges while it's up.
It's just the recharge that is being EMP'd, not the shield itself. Yeah, that's maybe a better balance option than just completely turning it off.
Those emphasis are shutting down those doing the most damage.
Yeah, it's true. When will shields block EMP and tech nukes? That would be something. Question from Sid.
An intentional exclusion, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's the same reason why, like, we don't want stuff, you know, siege rockets and stuff not being stopped. Same thing, we don't want to add, like, CWIS to the game as well to shoot down rockets, because we don't want Hawk to be impenetrable.
Makes sense, yeah.
Well, about that. Has anyone finished that Legion T3 shield model yet?
Oh my god.
Well, what I found interesting that you mentioned earlier, there was a tier 3 shield in development, or like added in the game. Is it under extra units, or?
Yes, sir. They're the extra units pack. Protar modeled them. I worked my little bit of magic on them, and now you have a much beefier shield to keep you nice and safe. There's a specific range of projectiles that it blocks. Basically, anything that isn't a missile that goes up and then comes back down will be blocked. But that and bombs. Bombs also could get through. And yeah, so what this is intended for is mostly for PvE players, wherein usually it's the PvE guys that are playing with extra units, right? And so when they're holding off waves of raptors and scavengers, they want a shield that's a little bit more protected and maybe has a little bit more capacity. And that's the niche that this particular unit fills. The projectiles it blocks is basically everything except for the ones I described, plus the Armada one will not block flames, and the Cortex one will not block lightning, because I thought it would be cool. But it's also confusing, so that might be on the chopping block. Who knows?
As a happy comp stomper, do you recommend Raptors or Scavengers to new players? Question for Seth from X-Flame.
Here's
You were cutting out.
Yeah, I think you're going to it.
straightforward, predictable. Scavengers is literally the entire unit roster coming after you.
Could you start over, Seth, with an answer? You broke up there for a second.
Am I still clear?
Now you are. Yeah.
Testing. Wait. I would recommend starting with Raptors if you want a pretty chill kind of game mode, because they're not the nutty ones, by the way. Those lobbies are off the chain. Anyway, the Raptor stuff is more of a curated experience, shall we say. But if you're looking to fight more of the same kind of composition that you yourself are familiar with, you want to go through hell. Scavengers is your ticket, because you'll get everything thrown at you. And oh yeah, and I forgot, I made the scavenger boss for that as well. That was my second project that I ever contributed to Bar. I don't even want to look at the animation script in that thing. I'm sure that Darcy's seen it. How is that remodel going, by the way? I know that you got tired of the Mike Wazowski washing machine look, and you're like, God, this is so terrible. We gotta put something else in there.
Oh, it was so much worse as the Legion Commander. I thought the Tyrannus was bad. The Legion Commander was even worse.
Oh yeah, I did build it off the Legion Commander, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. No, you built off the
Hey,
other
that means you had to rework it twice, didn't you?
one. Yep, we're gonna have to. I haven't worked on the script for the new commander yet, though. Not the new scav commander yet.
Alright. Scout's honor, whenever you finish it, I'll help you work in the that disgusting animation script and make it work.
I'll get like the basic, all the weapons working, but I'll leave the weapons up to you, I reckon.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
I'm too light. I'm too soft.
That right there is a product of, I think it was a straight month of autism. And when I say autism, I am literally autistic, so I can't say that.
I think half of us are, so it takes a special kind.
Something I was wondering about. Normally, technically speaking, it should be possible for an AI to be developed that could beat any game, any human player with any sort of OS. But yeah, you don't really want that, of course. You want an AI against you that is beatable. But sometimes I think guys are really, well, excuse my French, sadomasochistic a little bit, and they want that experience of just going at it for hours and hours and trying to survive against an overwhelming force. Are there any plans of like releasing an AI? I think I've seen a few hints on maybe being able to cheat or to watch what it shouldn't be able to be watching. Could you enlighten us a little bit on the AI developments on that point?
Well, the thing about the AI is that I believe that now AI is not my specialty. What I'm doing is providing the AI with more tools to be more effective. In other words, cheats. But from what I heard, on moving on the existing barbarian AI, centrifugal was one of them. Another guy that started with, his name started with an F. I can't remember what the full name was off the top of my head. But really cool dudes, and they're putting in the work. what they're working on is making it so that the AI is more intelligent and it reacts to the game state better. It doesn't block in its own factories with its nano turrets. It produces more nano turrets. It scales generally well. It shows more aggression instead of marching around with parades of fat boys. Unit. That's a unit in the game. Please. Marching around with parades of fat boys and doing nothing with them. They're working on that part, but here's where it kind of falls apart. You give an AI a disproportionately high flat bonus, and what happens in the early game is they are super punishing with it because they can actually use all of those resources, and you have nowhere near the capacity to counter it. But then by the late game, as the players scale their economies and their bases up and up and up, at some point they reach an equilibrium, and then the players start to win because the AI starts to choke because they're not designed to handle such crazy amounts of eco. They do not have a efficient base layout to where they can place enough nano turrets to take care of that stuff. So that was the first cheat, is to make it so that they literally cannot waste metal. So if they start wasting metal, then all of the AI on that AI team will get a little bit of a bonus, a little boost to their build power until that no longer happens. Now, this is disabled by default. You can find it in the mod options, I believe, under the cheats section, subheader AI cheats. But there will be more to come. I'm thinking about some kind of dynamic resource bonus to give them guys so that they can not be so damn punishing in the beginning, but be appropriately difficult towards the end. Because a good comp stomp has a sweet spot where you're not steamrolling and you're not losing terribly, but you're kind of making progress or you're kind of losing progress. That's the sweet spot that we want to keep, that we want people to stay in for longer than currently, because a typical comp stop will be like maybe, let's say it's 35 minutes long. About 3 to 5 minutes of that will be good gameplay. The rest is either waiting for stuff to happen or being steamrolled.
Sorry about the silence there. There was 26 nukes coming down at Lithium there.
Oh, dang.
I'm hoping I'm not keeping you away from your actual job set.
Nah, I'm in a blizzard right now. On my way to work.
You're in a blizzard. Whoa, okay.
Yep. Means drive slow. Slow and careful. Good tires go a long way. Never mind that, though.
Yeah, just
blood plenty. Is there somebody else in the queue, or shall I continue to fill time?
Well, we have Tremor and Will Kubiuk also unmuted and ready to answer questions, but
I am about to sleep. I just want to watch the last of this match.
okay. Thank you for the follow, Faceless Prophet, Looking Viewer Twitch, and thank you for the subscription, Careful Honey, and the follow. Thank you everybody, we're at 3026, it's amazing the support that you are giving us. We do appreciate it, thank you very much. Would be nice to get that number up to 40,000 followers, since we have 40,000 members in the Discord.
Hey!
It does look like it was quite interesting to see Lithium and Master Bell turning this game around, because I do believe that the player in this spot was kind of nuking everybody around him and did way more damage, but that gave Master Bell the time to get up 50 shields, 50 overseers, and completely protecting his base and then starlighting the other player out of the game. Thank you for the follow, Malgot.
All these commands are just too busy doing the cool dance.
Well, I hope you have some energy drinks with you, but this game doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon yet. We are down to 3 teams. We started off with, I think.
Oh no, the guys on the center are gone.
What? What's that?
Oh, the top left center, they've been eliminated.
Hmm.
Well, that staff or area.
Yeah. This third team is trying to get back into the game, but yeah. Does he have room for another Starlight? Oh, he has a. That is not good. If this changes, oh no, Master Pal, everything blew up.
Zippo just needs to send all of his units, and he can win.
Oh man, all of those shields and just one lonely Thor riding into his base and blowing everything up. I think he's feeling pretty gutted right now. That brings it down to 2 teams. We have a 4 versus 3 at the moment. Still 7 commanders in the game. Well, 7 people actually clicking. The total number of commanders is at 5 at the moment. Yeah, Master Bell, that was really sad. I thought you were winning for sure. And one lonely Thor. Just completely messing up your entire base. But it was impressive though, because you took out this guy on this position over here, which pretty much destroyed everything around him. And then you out-ecoed him and starlighted him down, just gave him a little cookie of his own medicine. And we have a lot of anti-nukes going up. Is there any nuke going through? No. All the anti-nukes have got the nukes, fortunately for Fireaxe here on the top right, the bottom right corner.
What a shame.
So, and the answer is of course, make more nukes, and that's exactly what he's doing. But he's faced by 6 anti-nukes, so we're gonna need 6 times 7, 43 nukes, I think, at least, to get through that. How's the charges? 18, 19, 18, 15, 15. Bird tax. Need to know the type of bird. My budgies are going mad. I couldn't get units through. I guess I could have secured them. I guess I could have secured the middle ball, and I stopped them pouring through them to my allies. Those Jugs and Bees could have walked right through us, to be honest. Southeast did well, staying out of the fight. Yeah. Impressive line of behemoths here.
I'm waiting for Zippo to make a move, and I think he's just made it.
For who to make a move?
Zippo. The owner of all the juggernauts.
Okay.
That has a lot of new launches.
Is ready.
He's just printing out those chucks. Every 30 seconds a new one. And just trying to get even a second gantry up and running for more juggies.
We have reached 2 jugs per minute.
Starfall are insanely good though, yeah. I agree, Ripsy.
Oh, my eyes.
Uh-oh. He's trying again. Oh, they're missing one. They're missing the shots. Ooh, painful.
That's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, boom.
And that seems to pull the direction, well, the final push for the, well, I don't know what color team it is. Looks like some sort of yellow-ish thing. Let's say the brown team. And even more nukes going out, he realizing he's true, but yeah, you don't maybe wanna... Did they all explode? Oh, a few went through. Amazing.
Such a funny unit.
And just one more for good measure. Oh, another one for good measure. And taking care of the last ones. This guy. Who is it? Yoni4BO? That was amazing. That was amazing. That's a big chunk of plasma units there. But I don't think they will get close enough. They are getting cleaned up by the behemoth. They are trying to get onto the side of the map to avoid those shots, to get closer to the base and maybe fire their plasma over here.
Seems like the nukes will sort the game.
Yeah. He just needs to aim over here now. There's only 4 still, but I think he can overpower that with the number of nukes he has. He's just waiting for a new shot for all of them to probably be on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many is it? 9 nukes. I was thinking there would be. Ah, okay, there's all more over here. Holy hell. How many? 40 nukes. Jesus Christ.
I remember last week when we've been running the test of the 40v40v40v40, the game being resolved with the mass nuking. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a matter of time, I think. They're close to. Oh, that's one.
Those behemoths are never gonna reach their base.
These all have a charge, or pretty much all of them. Maybe he's waiting for all of them to have a really massive shot on this one.
Yeah, might be.
Gives him time to build more anti-nukes though. Oh no, he lost his anti-nukes already. Only one here.
Wow.
Alright people, 10 minutes to go and we have been live, well, pretty much live for 24 hours straight. Imagine that. Here we go. I can hear the nuke sound going off. Phew! That is gonna be a spectacular explosion. A lot of anti-nukes going out. Will it be enough?
They don't have enough anti-nukes.
They did, apparently.
Well, I mean, this next stockpile's not gonna have enough. All of them are at 0.
Yep. Still, these two is getting care of those two, but is this one gonna get intercepted? Yes, it is, still is.
Proteus.
Oh no, it misses! Unfortunately, it's aimed at over here and not on the base itself. Maybe they still have a chance if they get those behemoths all the way up to their eco. Yes, Prydak anti-nuke can miss if you overwhelm them with a lot of shots. It is possible that they are not in time launching their anti-nuke missile and they will miss the interception.
A single anti-nuke can only fire 8 at a time. Or defeating
Nope.
its 8 nukes at a time.
Bye bye. Boom! It finally got through.
Yeah. Boom. Good game.
GG. Now they only have to clean up the commanders, and that's the end of this game.
Just right on the top, I believe. Top.
More nukes trying to clean up those commanders.
Trying is good word. You know what? This team on the north of the map has been running completely raw the whole game. No anti-nukes, no shield bubbles. Whatsoever.
That's gonna be rather problematic for them. This, but yeah, if they get to aim this guy down, and Sam has plans. Well, it's the last commander here. I think this will be a bit late with reaching the other side.
Wow, Johnny Forbo needed more build, needed more unit capacity to self-deal all his build turrets.
Purax is the last commander.
I don't know what he's doing.
I think they do not know where he is.
He is cloaked, yeah. But I do think this game is over, so if any of the admins can, well, can leave it running until they find it.
This issue self-deal commander was commander.
He really hates this spot of the map, the nuke player. He does not like this piece. He got 2, but there's still 3 alive. Oh. That did a bit of damage on him. He has been spotted. His eco was destroyed. Now he is visible and he can eat a few more nukes. Bye bye. Pyrex. GG.
GG.
Oh, it's not ending. There's still one more. Oh, it is ending. Okay.
Ended.
Yeah, Johnny Forbio, Mr. Nuke here on the top left, unsurprisingly on the board with the Golden Cow, doing the most damage to enemy resource production, destroying the most enemy units, and actually attaining efficient use of resources as well with that. How many did he have? 48 nukes or something like that? It's quite impressive.
Alright, let's see what's the plan.
Alright, catching up with the lobby and all of the people joining. That gives me an opportunity to go for a small bio break. I'll be back in a few seconds.
Well, that's gonna be it from me tonight. I will catch you later. Enjoy the rest of like 5 minutes of the event. I will be asleep, getting some nice, you know.
Mm.
All right.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
Hey.
Question. I would like to provide a method in the gadgets I'm working on to allow the mission API to enable them arbitrarily at will whenever they want. Just kind of simmer on that and let me know what method you think might be best.
Was that a question for me or for?
Welcome back.
Excuse me.
Here.
Excuse me.
Sorry, say it again.
Let's say okay. I would like to provide a method through which the mission API can enable specific gadgets. Something that I'm working on right now is I call them mutators, things that you can enable that are compatible with the rest of the game, whatever game mode that you're playing, that just kind of change or enhance the experience. And so I would like to provide a method through which the mission API can enable or disable them at will.
In which way? What would you like exactly to the gadget to be doing?
With the mission API, you would enable a trigger or some stuff, or have a trigger that would enable the gadget or disable the gadget in question, whatever.
Well, there will be a possibility to add anything via the custom trigger, basically, where anyone would like to expand anything that is not is or will not be included in the mission API through the custom function. You will be able to add anything on top of the existing mission API.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure if that answers your question, but yeah, so anyone later on can add anything on top of existing mission API, whether it's gadget or on missing trigger action or something that would like to be added. So yeah, that will be a possibility.
I'll show you what I'm looking at, what I'm working on later to see what you think, or how you think I could provide that functionality for the future.
Yeah, sure. I'm always open and always good to have additional hands-on. Like I said, there is not too many people willing to do so, so I'm always happy for extra hands. Oh, by the way, Seth, do you remember your first work done on the bar, which basically granted you a contribution, a contributor?
Yeah, it was EvoCom, Evolving Commanders. It took me months.
And was it that clearly done, let's say, in one go, or someone had to fix stuff for you?
No, it was all me. Nobody wanted to touch it. So through trial and error, eventually I got something that was workable, but not very good initially. And then I iterated upon it, making it better and better. And eventually it became what it is now. Then there were some PvP fellas that came along that really liked playing with it enabled against their friends and stuff. And that's how it became roughly calibrated for the PvP experience, roughly balanced. There's still work that needs to be done to it. I have a running list of to-dos, but there's just so much other high priority stuff that's been dragging my attention away. But what I really love about it is that it's compatible with basically anything you want to sprinkle it into as that secret special sauce. Another thing I like about it, about Evolving Commanders from a a game design perspective is its holdout against snowballing. So because you have effigies, right, which allow you to respawn your commander if they die. Speaking of, before I continue, shout out to Zerath, Xehrath, my mentor who taught me how to do Lua code at the beginning, and also who made the evolution gadget and me and him collaborated together. He did most of the coding for the respawning gadget as well. Anyway, being able to respawn your commander means you can be a little risky with it, but not for free. And when your commander gets wiped out that first time, you have the choice. Well, do I hold on to my frontline base position, or do I fall back behind the juicy line of apices that my companion has been spending the last 12 minutes building, and try to rebuild there? And if you do decide to rebuild, you can do so very quickly because evolving commanders are both a good source of economy and scales according to where the game state is, and they are also a good means of defense for a little while against pesky assaults at any point in the game. Speaking of which, that was the first foray into...
So it's always this way or the other way sorted. So yeah, good. Yeah. Done.
And some are indeed prone to talk more to talking than others. Stardish Knight coming in with that remark.
Yeah. That just reminded me my beginnings in the bar. Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah, but I think you guys also need a lot of input from the players themselves. If you would have a closed door policy, it would be very difficult to get that feedback from the players. So yeah, because of the open source project, open source nature of this project, you want as much people to contributing as well. And yeah, I do think that with set coming in and a few other measures that have been taken to avoid, well, this, for example, toxicity a little bit between the developers on GitHub or on other places are a little bit mitigated and would cause less people to maybe say, okay, no, I don't want to participate anymore. So I do think those recent changes are very positive and are creating a very positive vibe between the team. Maybe steering away a little bit more from the other things in the past that went wrong.
Sometimes it's rough, but roughly, you know, there's always a solution to solve the problem. But there's always people that you can rely on when you cannot solve the problem yourself. So, to be honest with you, all those contributors and you know, all the people working on bar, I would say they're great. They've got own pros and cons, but overall it's a great team. You know, you wouldn't see such people working in any co-op because well, basically, you know, there's always a boss and you have to follow whatever the boss say. And over here in bar, pretty much we trying to be as friendly as possible to everyone, you know. And sometimes whenever you're thinking you're professional and you know what you're doing, you might miss something that you don't want to agree on, that you miss something. Until you realize that, yeah, they were right, you wasn't. So yeah, things like this happen, but overall it's great, you know. I'm really happy to be with them, and that situation just reminded me my first contribution to the bar project, which at the end was just slightly fixed by Floris. He's our let's say guru on the game side, and I was struggling slightly with UI, because I was implementing that cloak settings. What will become? Give us a second.
Looks like I've got a dip here in just about 2 minutes, boys. I have only a little bit to say about interdeveloper toxicity. The thing is that everybody's been playing games for decades, and you don't play games for decades without forming your own opinions about them. And without some kind of third party or some kind of rules of around when to stop, basically, pushing for your perspective. Without clear guidelines, it's really easy to fall into the trap of maybe if I push a little bit more. There isn't a single person that I've talked to about these kinds of things where there was some bitter disagreement, talked to both sides. Everybody means well. And it's really easy to become bitter when you get so firmly entrenched in your own opinion. So I'm happy to do my part in trying to improve upon the interdeveloper experience, and something will be formally approved probably in the next couple weeks here. And yeah, so future contributors will have a better time developing for Bar. And remember that Bar is a manaocracy. The people that put in the most effort, they get the most kudos.
Yeah. Could be, right?
Yes, sir. That's it for me. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks very much, Seth, for joining. It was really nice to hear your insights. I'd love to do it again sometime. So, yeah, keep up the good work, and thanks for joining.
Yep, peace out. Let me know if I broke anything. See ya.
Right, so seems like we need the last one.
Yeah. But it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in CET times. So I think if we can keep going for maybe 2 or 3 hours more, there might be another streamer willing to take over. I'm down to keeping this going as long as we can.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get another streamer hopping on.
I ain't got nothing planned today, so if there's nobody else, and if you boys and girls are fine with that, I will be here for you for the rest of the day.
I can probably hang around for a while.
Okay. We're gonna do a Raptor game, ladies and gentlemen. Well, if Nightmare manages to get the settings all up and running, you can see it's a scavenger defense AI, so scavenger's offense AI. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna add some scavs, but yeah. King Size FR, thank you for the Prime subscription. Elozy, thank you for the follow. And I think I read the rest of the followers already. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. We very much appreciate the support. It's been really crazy. You guys are going ham in chat. You guys are being so supportive. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like Tanish Knight said, the show must go on. Yeah, it's been the longest stream I remember for Bar.
I don't think we ever did. Well, I might be wrong. But, and also the viewer count at some point yesterday, approaching 600. I think that's also a record-breaking thing. And also, I think I saw Pitak posting a few screenshots yesterday about records being broken of the concurrent number of players playing Bar at the moment. So yeah, we were planning on breaking all the records, and it looks like we've broken quite a bit.
Yeah, which is great.
Well, what DANL, if you can't wait for the 50k, just get your friends over to the Discord to get those numbers up, and maybe even next month we will have a 50k celebration. Huh? Who knows?
Yeah, remember what you said on the 50k, you will buy a new PC. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I will do it. I will do it. I probably maybe even sooner because well, all of this lag is kind of pushing me to do that pretty much sooner. I was kind of planning on maybe adding a second computer to my setup, a cheap one for streaming, so that I could switch off. Well, I could unload the streaming thing from my PC to that second box, and then increase my performance like that. But looking at what other games are coming out pretty soon, who will also be very heavy on a PC usage, I think it might be a better idea if I just start over with a completely new box and start shopping around for a motherboard and for the best CPU and for a nice GPU and all that kind of nice stuff. So, I'm an IT guy, so I love to put those computers together as well. So yeah, pretty exciting futures. But yeah, there's only one thing that's missing, and that is a bit of money, of course. I've been at home for quite a while now, so there's not much coming in. But yeah, maybe soon I will get some. I will get a new job and get some more things coming in. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, would be great. To be honest, I wouldn't be changing my computer, which I had to change between December and January, because basically my old CPU started to refuse to work, was giving me loads of lovely blue screens, and once I ran some testing, it shows up that basically the CPU is slowly dying, wasn't capable to run even on the default settings anymore. And then once I sent it to the guys to do the work on the computer, they found out in addition to CPU, my memory was dying. Fortunately, I had the life guarantee on memory, so they replaced it, but I had to get a new CPU and motherboard because they've been from 2019. So, well, I've got new CPU, new motherboard, fresh memory, and in addition, I took a new drive and NVMe, which I didn't expect it to be as good. I was thinking like, yeah, it just, and it's great, to be honest. NVMe drive, it's great addition on top of your computer. So even the SSD is good, but NVMe, it's just great.
Indeed. I have all three of those type of hard drives in my current PC. So I have a little old HDD of 1 terabyte. I have a few SSDs, and my C is on NVRAM, and yeah, that's quite amazing. The startup of Windows, how fast it can get data from one spot to the other. Yeah, it's amazing indeed. Yep. Ooh, they got a new color for the Raptors spawn box. Yep. Nice. Let's not get that on screen. This is gonna be interesting. 40 commanders on the right side of the Raptor Queen and 40 commanders on the left side of the Raptor Queen. Who will she be going first?
And the Raptor in the middle.
So if you guys don't know, this is I think the first time we are showing this on stream for this game. So normal game mode is player versus player. Like you play the commanders, you can see it on the green box, and the commanders you can see it on the red box. But the yellow box in the middle is gonna be aliens. It's gonna be raptors in this game. So it's a completely different mode, different game mode. It's also available, of course, if you just download Bar and start up a new lobby with a few friends. And that's exactly what I did. The first few months of playing Bar was with a few friends against either the Raptor AI or the Scavenger AI, trying to beat her or him. Quite fun. I didn't do it on Metal Map. We usually did it on like the map. I'm not gonna go into the things. I don't want to crash my stuff, but it was that with the little choke point in the middle, making it easier for putting some defenses up.
Yeah, but we've got plenty of players now, and they can show their skills.
We are currently at a 40v2. Mr. Heliax Demon. So 2 Raptor AIs here in the middle, 40 players on the left side, and 40 human players on the right side. The middle is the AI, the computer.
Yeah.
And we have a 4 start going in. We are starting in 3, 2, 1.
Battle started.
Battle started. Here we go.
Didn't crashed. That's good sign.
Yeah, it started up. Where is the timer? I don't see the timer yet. These
It's still populating. But it's not raptors, it's scavengers.
it looks like scavenger, which is because it's there's a scavenger and a raptor defense in there. Alright. So scavs and
Yeah, scavs and rats. Double the fun.
yes, but at the moment they're not spawning in yet, so I think there is like a delay on when they actually start moving in.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's going. Scavens are spawning in their little drops.
Yeah, it's working.
The Arfubar acknowledging all the stuff that he can capture here and can reclaim. He's getting those juicy metal over to his side. Is he capturing or is he? Oh, he's actually capturing. And that is his windmill, his tier 2 windmill now, and he's moving in on the second one. Quite a different, maybe how do you call it? Not that best of approach, because soon these guys will be spawning right in front of his base. But still, maybe if he get some defenses around here, he would have a favorable position. Don't be fooled by Scavenger's offensive AI name. This is a human player. Let's get a prediction up as well. Who wins? Humans or aliens? Guys, if you wanna earn some channel points, this is your chance. Make a prediction and get some points in there. And yeah. Let's see who
I
wins.
don't see raptors anywhere. Do you see the raptors anywhere?
No,
I
not
see
yet. Not yet.
Scavenger.
But I don't know what the timer is on. It should be like what's the default? Let me check. Options. Raptors. 1. Endless mode, hive placements. Normally there's like a grace period time multiplier 1. Alright, so just a normal grace period. Which I think is 5 minutes? Maybe anybody in game can confirm. Can you see on the top right side an indication on when the Raptor is incoming?
No, I don't see. We shall see soon.
Can't see it? That's unfortunate. Yeah, the spam beacons are being spawned in. This guy knows what to do with it. You need to capture that thing, get it over to your base, and you get some nice bonuses from that. But for the moment, it's gonna be a human battle, apparently. Let me ask him, chat. Well, I'm trying to keep zoomed down to spot the AI spawning in, but well, let's just go to the battles. We have Hayai here on the bottom. He's one of the organizers for the ATG 6v6 tournament, which will be popping off in about a week and a half. Be sure to tune in for that one. All of the big players are contending in that tournament. Surprisingly, they all want to play all that glitters. There's also a $600 prize pool in that one. Just capturing quietly all of the stuff in here. Might wanna look out for this one. There's a scary group of Jains coming for him. Run, Najaji, run! Ah, okay.
Ended.
Yeah. It's been finished.
Okay.
Yeah, because it didn't load it.
I think we have to cancel this prediction. Sorry, but I'm gonna delete the prediction and return your points. Thank you for gambling, but yeah, there weren't some. There were no aliens in here, so the prediction isn't really. Yeah, I think this is the problem here.
Yeah. It should be either Raptor or Scavs.
Explain. No, it's not scammed. We're starting over in just a few minutes. A little bit of patience, and you will be able to fight the Raptors, hopefully.
Yeah, some folks still didn't left the game yet. Need to go back to lobby.
Yup. Everybody who is in the game, please exit the game and go back to the lobby so we can start over. On the top right, you have the button to leave the battle. If you click that, you will see the icon in front of your name changing from in battle to either not ready or ready. So what happened is that we tried with the scavengers and the Raptor AI in the same team, but that is incompatible with each other apparently. You can't have a Raptor game and a Scav game going on at the same time. So we removed the Scavs and are just gonna try with the Raptors defense AI now as soon as everybody is back into the lobby and ready to go.
Just few more people left.
That did not count as a human win, Chico, but I'll put up a new prediction when it starts and when we actually have some aliens in the game, and then you guys can earn some more channel points if you would like. Just to be clear about that, there is no monetization behind that. It is the only way of gaining channel points is just watching the stream. So whenever you're watching a stream for a minute, you get, I think, 6 or 7 points or some sort of amount. So there really isn't anything behind that. And it's also a good way of unlocking the channel emotes, so that you don't have to subscribe to get access to those, but you can just use channel points to unlock those nice little emotes. Like, for example, I can post them for you guys. We have this one, 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 this one.
2 more guys left.
For example.
Think we ready to go? Yes. Ready to go. Teams are even. Here we go.
All right. Let's hope it will be a better start.
Yeah, finger crossed this one will work.
Yes, everybody in chat, cross your fingers with me, please. Commanders choosing their start position. A few are choosing to be really close to the scavengers. That is a good idea if subcom is enabled, so the leveling commanders, because well, if you get a lot of kills in here, your commander becomes pretty much indestructible. But at the moment, I don't think evolving commanders is activated, so they might want to move a little bit more to the back. On the other hand, whenever a raptor is killed, it leaves X on the floor, and you can reclaim those X for a nice medal boost. I thought there was a way to turn down the volume. Can't find it right now. The pings were bothering me a little bit.
Battle started.
Yeah, Raptor spawned.
Yes, we do have some nests here. That's good. They are expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, we have a go. Grace period is 6 minutes and 44 seconds, so after 6 minutes and 40 seconds, the first waves will be starting, giving the commanders a little bit of opportunity to get some pork down before that time.
And in the meantime, they will spread the hive.
Yep, you can see it over the ground expanding, slowly encroaching on these commanders. They will have to kill these hives for the terrain changes to be cancelled. You can't remember what the super upper threshold was for how much crazy raptors are allowed to be. I think you can put them on epic, and at the moment they're on normal difficulty. So maybe if these boys have an easy job in killing the queen, we can go for a much more difficult setting. But yeah, I'm also keeping my fingers crossed that my PC will not blow up on this one, because this will be quite heavy. Oop. What happened here? Ah. The ranged weapons are firing at his base. Told you, man, you're too much in front. You need to get back. Good day, not taking no for an answer and just moving straight into this thing, hoping that he can dig on it. Hoppa. Oh, it is on. Evolving commanders. He's just got some experience. Okay, I take back my previous statement. Apparently, the commanders are able to get some XP in them. Oh, another medal. Good idea by Good Day. Rickstar is taking up on the hint and is also gonna degun. Well, he does need a bit of E before doing that. So you might want to build some more windmills before moving in for the degun shot, but it looks like he have enough for one. Yes, he has. And 2k metal on the floor. That's weird. He got 7k and this guy got only 2k. Oh no, 8.25. That's better. Reclaim it. Rickstar, reclaim it. Yeah, there we go. There's already a defensive tentacle going out here for in front of DR Fubar and ES Knight. They still have 4 minutes to get that pork up before the first waves are coming. The way this mode works every few, I think every minute or one, I don't know which much is the timer, but waves of raptors will be coming at these commanders.
Yeah, one on the middle is within the range of raptors.
Looks like we are gonna keep going. I'm keeping an eye out on the chat. We will be having more games for you boys. We already have somebody else who might be able to take over the stream, so you get some decent FPS and a better viewer experience. So don't go anywhere. There's still lots and lots and lots of goodies coming at you. He's just trying to get that tentacle down with some. Well, it's actually working. 34%. Okay, if he gets a few more of those napalm going. Sorry? Two minutes left. Mr. DK also wanting a bit of that juicy metal, almost losing his commander in the process, but he gets away with it and gets his commander up to a star. Good Day just continue on his walk and getting more eggs for his base and his teammates. Soul Survivor moving in on the other side. He is declaring war on the other side. Also On the bottom here, they are moving in on the other side. They are ignoring the queen for the moment and trying to go get some kills on the other side. I don't think that would be the best of solutions to mitigate this queen, but we will see how it goes.
Or maybe they're just trying to weakness the other side so the queen can finish them off easier.
Yes, Face's Prophet indeed. He degunned that base and he's getting experience for that. Yeah. Well, said something that would be really cool is if we wouldn't have to be streaming with a delay. In so that's kind of suboptimal for tournament plays. So if you're looking at some way to increase the streamers, it would be nice if we we would be able to stream without a stream delay, but still of course be behind the rest of the games. But then yeah, we would still be able to live chat with the audience and use Twitch interactions and stuff like that.
10 seconds left.
Oh, he's going, and here we have. Get ready to defend yourself, Commander. They are going for you.
2, 1, let's go. The first wave.
254 Raptors. You can see them spawning in here. At the moment, they're just little tiny Raptors, but that will rapidly increase. My FPS immediately tanking, of course.
Our lovely little creatures going to give a fun to the players.
Yes, they will rapidly increase the difficulty, Dupty. Nice pun there. So the way this works is the Raptors will prioritize the guy with the highest eco value and will be going for him. I think that's still how it works. And in case when I was playing Raptors quite a while back, yeah.
Yeah, as far as I remember, same. Yeah.
The Brawler, an Assault Raptor going into Soul Survivor and Aerobis's base there on the top.
Wave 2, 152, a bit stronger.
Already one of the bigger ones, but they will get bigger, don't you worry.
And there will be more.
Yes, and we have a Flamethrower Raptor here. Let's see how he performs. Not that great. Wave 3, 157 Raptors. You can see also in the top right the Queen Hatch tab. So the more Raptors you kill and the more portions of the base you kill, the angrier the Queen gets and the faster it will be evolving and appearing on the map. So you can see player aggression is considered at 0.09%. So she's not really being bothered at the moment, so it could go up at the normal pace. But as more damage is being done to those Raptors, the aggression will go up, the base difficulty will go up, and the evolution will also be up, causing the Queen to spawn in faster. Another Brawler going for Caller. He does seem to have quite a nice eco here. So he's gonna have the most of his Raptors coming for him. Is it 472 middle income? I don't see much higher numbers on the board. So I think at the moment he will be having well, these guys in front will actually be taking the most of that. But at the moment they are using units to defend. If I can give you guys any advice, don't use units in this game mode, use Pork to keep the Raptors at bay, way more effective.
Seems like the Raptors prep to expand on the other coast, on the west coast.
Yeah.
No, east coast.
Northeast,
That
southwest.
depends on the perspective.
Yeah, it is on the west side. So yeah, there's degunning action by the. I think it was this guy. It was pretty nice, but you will see that they will be starting to expand rapidly. Also, even if you keep killing those hives, they will just keep coming at you. X-Flame, please keep your comments PG rated. Thank you very much. Smart. Nepal Gatling artillery blanking the field, causing the Raptors to have to move to a wall of fire before reaching the other commanders. So yeah, smart move here. But I don't see much pork going up. If you lose those units, you will fastly be overrun. Get more of these, more of pit bulls especially. But also the lightning turrets are really effective against the Raptors. Looks like a topside is still completely ignoring the Raptors and just going at each other for the moment. While the center guys are struggling to keep the Raptors away from them. I'm already catching up. Yeah, we do need somebody with a better PC streaming this. It's no problem, X-Flame, but we just try to keep the stream PG rated so that everybody can enjoy the stream and yeah, you know, no references to that kind of stuff, please. Would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Queen arrives in 30 minutes. I don't know if my PC will survive 30 minutes, but yeah, here's to hoping.
Six.
The aggression going up, probably because of this. So you can see a bit before it was at 30 minutes because of this heightened aggression. The queen will be coming faster. She's already at 20% at the moment. Now the timer went up a little bit because the aggression went down a little bit. It is dynamically adjusting to the aggressiveness of the commanders. These boys are still thinking the most problem will be coming from the commanders. But in a few, there will only be coming these big ass assault raptors coming at them, so you might want to change tactics just a tiny little bit, get some more pork up. They do have some shields already, so I do know they're gonna be bombarded by plasma. I'm hoping anti-nukes, yeah, anti-nukes everywhere as well. That's good.
It seems like some players never played against the Raptors, so they thinking that the commanders are the biggest problem, while it's not. But sooner or later, they will find this out.
Yes,
themselves.
indeed. Especially when that queen is coming, marching through those units, getting some resistance to whatever is getting shot at them. So the tactic is, the more a raptor queen is shot by a certain armor, the more resistance it gets by a certain type of weapon, the more resistance is gained for that weapon. So at some point it gets, I think, 90 or 95 resistance against a certain type of weapon, so you need to be a lot of different type of units, a lot of different type of damage to actually get the queen down. He's trying with a tuck walk. Following close behind by an incisor walk, 92 of them. And here comes number 7, 362 raptors. But yeah, I don't think the tucks will get anywhere. They don't have the DPS to get down these things as well. So we'll probably be taken care of pretty soon. He does have set up a stream of them right now, hoping that a spam of tucks would make any difference. Oh, a commander died here, or what? Okay, I didn't even notice there was a commander there. That's Nightmare! Did that say Nightmare? I thought I saw his name here for a second. $14,000 units on the screen. Going up over 15,000 at the moment. We're gonna hit that 32,000 cap pretty soon, I think. We're only 15 minutes in.
Yeah, some people report in 5 frames per second.
Oh, you're in Spec Nightmare? Sorry, I thought I saw your names right next to the commander. It was probably your little cursor icon. Most of these commanders still play.
Yeah. I see that you can catching up. I still pretty smoothly over there when I just checked a second ago. I still ran 65 frames.
Yeah, I'm at 5-6 FPS, so not that bad yet, but I am behind you. Thank you for the follow, Arlaken. Thank you. We're at almost 3,030 followers. It's going up neatly. Catapults moving in. Faced by quite damaged Razorbacks. Come on, PC. Oh my god. I'm not gonna wait for 50,000 members Discord. I have to get a new PC.
Yes, you are. You need a new PC. But just play more this one, then maybe the current one will just burn itself.
Forcing me to buy one, yeah.
That will definitely make you
it's a
fight
nice...
spare cash for it.
No, at the moment it's at 40 degrees inside my case, so it's alright. CPU 86, but that's also pretty okay. That's degrees Celsius, by the way, not the freedom units. Thank you for joining, Nightmare. And thank you for your girlfriend for allowing you to do this.
Thank you, Nightmare.
GL. Ah, good luck. I thought he was setting... I thought he was saying I'm going off to my girlfriend, but it's good luck that he was saying. My bad. Hello, Mr. Pitaku.
Hey, can you hear me well?
Yes, we
Hey,
can.
Doc.
I'm on a different headset now, so just wanted to check. So I've been talking with Floris, and he apparently have a very good PC for streaming. So he has set up his OBS now, has the Steam key ready. So speak with him. Oh, he's right here.
Okay, cool.
Hello, Floris.
You wanna do the handover right now, or do you wanna wait for the game to finish, or have you caught up to this game, or?
I'm in this game.
Okay, cool. Cool. I will go
Great.
to the handoff screen, which is this one.